All right, everyone, we are joined by Dave Portnoy's assistant, the man who has been in the Barstool news cycle more than just about anyone for the past couple weeks. His relationship with the T-Bush Gaming Boys has soured to the point of no return. People have opinions on him and in the office here, and we are more curious in who exactly Austin Jenkins is, what he does, and the status of his relationship with not only some people here, but also some people in the room. So, Austin, my queen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How was that intro?
I thought it was average.
Well,
Okay.
it was bad actually because you forgot to mention that it's my very best and close personal friend.
Right.
Austin
Also, you didn't say
Jenkins.
full-time assistant, I guess. So I guess I would like to know that I'm not like a part-time. I'm full-time. So I
You're a
just would.
full-time assistant. Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't.
that's
I
been
didn't
the
realize
tag.
most. I didn't realize most assistants were only part-time. Is that a? I
I
think
don't know.
most
Well,
assistants.
Sass
I
made
think
the point
it's
to be
always a
like
full-time
full-time
job.
assistant. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, before we get into
Miss
like
Peaches is not going to walk herself, man.
That's true.
very
That's
but,
very
right, that's the
true.
best part of your job. Before we get into all this, I need to I know who you are. Obviously, we've never worked together. I just need to ask you a bunch of questions really quick to get some context on who you are, which will help me form a better opinion on you. How old are you?
29.
Where are you from?
Okay.
29, yeah. Right outside Worcester,
What town?
Rutland.
Yeah. Where do you live? Where do you
What
live
is that?
now?
Wait, pause. What does that mean?
Yeah.
What is?
It's
what
like
is-
a Massachusetts.
What
Like
is
yeah.
Like what's no? But what's that place? Like
Rutland?
Yeah.
Rutland. It's like a farm.
It's
town,
nothing.
no?
It's the
Yeah.
exact geographical center of Massachusetts. So
Oh
the
my
only thing we
God.
have is it's a central. It's called the Central Tree. That's our name of our middle school. It's like a tree. That's the
Okay.
exact central point of Massachusetts. So Central
That's
Mass.
that's honestly, Austin. Already we have so much in common. That's exactly where I'm from in New Jersey, the dead center, and we're called. My school is called Central. Wow.
So that's why you thought we were best friends, clearly.
That's
No, we are best friends, and we will
Here
get
we
to
go.
it. We'll get to it.
Have you? All right, you're from Rutland. You're how old? 30 something. 30 years old.
29, he said.
29 years
29.
old. Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
How many?
I have an older brother, an older sister, and a way younger sister.
Are your parents still
Oh,
together?
interesting.
My parents are still together, and they don't consume Barstool, but my mom despises Kelly Keegs now.
Really?
Despises me, and you know,
Yeah,
Mom,
she's like a really nice woman, but she's like a, mess with my family sort of thing. I had to tell her that I was like, it would be bad if you got a physical assault charge for attacking Kelly Keegs, so
sure,
you got to
sure.
back
She
down.
listen. She can try to throw hands all she wants. I am not above putting down an old lady. I'm not.
I think Kelly. You think Kelly Keegs would fuck your mom up in a fight?
I
No,
would
my mom's
never.
like a taker. My mom's like a take her earrings out, like beat a bitch out sort
She's
of thing.
Worcester.
Like I would,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, like honestly, Kelly Keys said like I'm not afraid of Austin. You would be afraid of Mrs. Jenkins.
Listen,
Mrs.
I all
Jenkins.
respect to Mrs. Jenkins. Real recognize real. I would also beat an ass if I needed to, but
exact
that's
quote
just
I'd eat an
was-
ass if I
that's a
needed to.
mama's
I'm
boy.
gonna
That's a
re-
mama's
I'm
boy
gonna read her
response.
exact quote. I'm
Okay,
gonna read her
okay.
exact
Well, what
quote.
did she
Oh,
see?
God.
What did she see
Well, so
exactly
she
that she
doesn't
hates my
consume
guts?
anything Barstool.
Okay.
She saw the clip of you. I don't even know which one this was.
An out of context
Um,
clip.
An out
Here
of
we
context
fucking
clip
go.
saying what? And you didn't correct her, I'm sure.
Well, I said you don't need to beat anyone up. She goes, "Okay, those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones." I don't really know what that means in this
Okay,
context.
Maybe
She
is she
goes-
saying that
she
to
goes-
you or me?
She's probably
by the way?
drunk.
Yeah.
She goes looking at her Instagram. I'm not sure what she even does for Barstool besides go to Greece and talk about Taylor Swift.
Okay,
That's
now
pretty much it.
This,
She has encapsulated my entire employment. So thank you, Mrs. Jenkins, for recognizing all my hard work.
and then did you then log into Dave's account and like on it and comment on it
Yeah,
on
yeah.
your mom's
Yeah, I
account?
reshared. Yeah, and then
You're-
I just got to boost.
If
I was
I
able to
go,
boost this one.
if I go into my other DMs, am I gonna find some shit talk from your mom? I pray to God.
I don't know, honestly. I don't know
I
if she'd
pray.
be like a. I don't know if she'd be like a go into it. I tried. I'm like, it's okay, mom. Like, just we're good. We're fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, maybe she could tune into a whole episode and find out that her precious little baby boy isn't such a ray of sunshine.
Oh no,
like
she knows.
thinks.
She knows. I said that. I'm like, I'm a dick. She's like, yeah, you're an asshole. But it's like that's
So
why
then
you're
what did
doing
I
your
say that
job.
was
But
wrong?
I don't think you. I think that's a cop out. I think you saying you're a dick is a cop out. Like I don't think you believe
I
you're a
actually
dick.
kinda- I actually
I
agree
think
with
you're
that.
like, oh, I'm a dick, and that's just get off the hook for free with no repercussions of being an asshole.
I think
don't
you'd
think
like
you're
to
an
be
asshole.
perceived as a dick, right?
No,
so
I'm
you can-
definitely like a mean. I'm like a mean, blunt person. That's just like a fact.
But when did that start? Did that start when you started working for Dave, or is this always
No,
how
I
you
mean
met?
it's yeah. I guess it's just like a Massachusetts like East Coast personality thing. But no, I've been like a very like blunt like person my entire life.
Do
And
you-
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I don't think so. That
We
is very
enjoy that here.
Massachusetts. But do you think that works against you in a professional setting? Like it's obviously
Oh
works.
no,
You don't think so?
no, I actually don't think. there could be a personality better to do my job than my job, than
Right.
me.
I think
I
you're
agree
great
with
at your
that.
job, but
I
I'm
agree
saying
with that.
like outside of your job, you're saying you're going to transition from the position you're in now to a different position. If you have to go and deal with people on a different level and there's a different dynamic, do you think that could work against you? Are you going to be like switch up your personality?
No, like I would say I have very good relationships with everyone that I have to have good relationships here. Like I would like obviously
Like
like
who?
maybe you guys think like the obviously Dave, that's obviously there,
Well,
but
of
like I
course,
would
yeah.
say everyone from like whether it's Big Cat or MB or Ryan or Kim or Aaron or like all the people that I deal with on a day-to-day basis, we all have like a great relationship. I wouldn't say any of them hate me at all.
Sure, but I think the key word there is it's great working relationship, right? Just
Yeah,
to
but I don't,
clarify.
but we're talking about in a professional setting. He said, would it impact me if I change my role here in a professional setting? Would I have to change it? Well, what I'm doing now works with those people.
Sure, sure. I guess then the follow-up question that I have is when you are kind of whether you chose it or not, integrating yourself in with this like content bubble, do you feel like maybe a slight alteration in your demeanor would benefit you in that?
No, I don't think there's like I didn't obviously ask to do the Bush stuff. I also didn't ask to be in the Bush content, and I turned down the majority of the stuff they wanted me to do. They were
Wait,
like,
so
"But
yeah,
we,
so why'd you go in it? So obviously we know Dave said, and we saw his video that he was like, I wanted Austin to be the go-between me and Jerry because Jerry's annoying when he calls me too many times, blah blah blah. Did he say like get involved in the content, get on camera, and be this like overlord of their
no,
budget and like keep this bit going? He didn't. You
no,
you
that
decided to
was
do
their
that.
idea. That
That
was
was
their
their
idea.
idea. Okay.
Mook,
Okay.
Jerry, and Sass were. I think Mook probably led the charge for the majority of stuff. I don't think Sass and Jerry have a lot of like, we should be doing this, we should be doing that. It's usually Mook in those situations.
So
Um,
Mook's a go-getter. It sounds like kind of the opposite of what you've been saying about him in the DMs behind the
no, I would not
scenes.
say Mook is a go-getter. I'd say Mook's lazy. And I said it to his face, and I've said it in content. I don't have a
What
problem
And you
with.
if
also said it behind his back to strangers online.
Yeah, but to me, I don't think that's like a gotcha thing when I said the
No, it's
same
not
thing. First of
gotcha.
all,
It's they were
but
talking
saying
about it out loud.
strangers online was when all three of those people asked me to give that guy a full-time job, and he was part of their team for the entire year and in their team group chat and all this stuff. And he came to me, Jerry's like, hey, he's gonna come pitch you, whatever. And I was like, okay. And I told him the same thing that I told all of them. Like I said the same
Sure.
thing to Mook privately, publicly. I knew if I said that stuff, I was like, I don't care if this ends up online because I've said it all.
So do you think that like Sass and Jerry need to get on the same page? Because all the clips I keep seeing, and we've got new clips too from yesterday's Boy Dad of Sass being like, yeah, this guy, he's like a fan. He's in the fan group chats. He shows up. He's basically a simp for the show, the podcast. He does everything. He gets us waters, blah, blah, blah. But now he's DMing Austin behind the scenes as if he's like literally an employee of the company, and he's not, and he never will be. And
I
so, but
mean,
now you're saying
Sass
Jerry's like,
asked me
give
to
him a
give him a
job.
job. Sass was one of the three
Okay.
people. All
Okay.
three of them
Setting
are
the
like,
record straight.
this guy was really good. Like he can get clips. He's good for the team. Like the team's asking about stuff. He's on top of it more than the people. Like he's awesome. And I told them publicly, so like you can see the record. I was like, this guy's a freak,
Yeah.
and he
Sure.
is getting way too comfortable because you guys are getting him gassed up, being like, they started a whole movement being like, pay Phenom. He needs to be hired by Barstool. I was like, you are gonna you know what you're causing. He's an online freak who is a parasocial relationship because you have made him part of. He's on the streams. Like there was times that Mook,
But
Jerry,
but
and
you
Sass.
also made him a part of it by like messaging him some and talking
I
about Mook like behind and his work ethic behind his back. No?
I
they
guess this is
they
this is like the point. We're like losing the plot a little bit here. I don't want to get too much into like the nitty gritty of the Bush stuff, but I think the net of it and the thing that gave people a little bit bad taste in their mouth, at least from the Bush side, is you just blatantly calling Mook lazy, which may be your belief and you're entitled to that. So my question is, what is the benefit of doing that to you and to Mook? Like what positive comes out of saying this person is lazy, other than making you look like a dick and making everyone on Bush hate you?
well, he was being lazy, so I
In what
told him he was
sense?
being lazy. Like that was right after. So we had a whole meeting where we talked about this stuff, and they didn't put it out because they thought it was too mean. It was going to make them look bad or me look bad or whatever.
Okay.
Um,
Them
so
or you. That's I would love to see that footage.
they thought it was going to be too negative, and it was like
Mm.
this and that, and it was like
Okay,
whatever.
okay.
Um, that was right off the heels of Jerry calling me 3 out of 4 weeks, being like, we're trying to do the one thing for sales and consistency of we post one podcast a week on Monday, same thing, so that it's easy to sell. We know when it's happening, all this sort of stuff, all the usual things that we tell brands to do here. And in 3 of the 4 weeks, Mook and Jerry were like, I mean, Mook and Sass were like, we're too tired. We don't feel like recording. And so they pushed it to the next day. And when I confronted Mook about that, he was like, yeah, man, it's really hard sometimes streaming for 8 hours on Sunday, then having to record again Monday. And I was like, what are we talking about here? Like, should we just tell Part of My Take when they do football streams on Sundays, they don't have to record again until Tuesday? That is quite literally the definition of
That
lazy,
is
being
true.
like, we don't feel like doing
honestly,
it.
though, Austin, I think that's also, if I would say, a lazy response to someone saying, hey, I need a couple more hours of recharge, because the using Part of My Take constantly as like the tent pole of whether you're lazy or not, I think is unfair. They're a fucking machine all the time. I think that they are like, I think Part of My Take and Dave are the unattainable levels of like, if you're that successful, then you're that successful.
I don't think recording once a week
you know?
at the exact same time and putting it out at the exact same time once a week is if we're talking about that's the pantheon of hard work is
that.
1 hour of podcasting a week.
But if
and you
he's
can't even do that, if you
in that
can't do that,
specific
it's
instance, he's like, we just streamed all day Sunday, and Monday is looking a little tough, and everybody's kind of wishy-washy about it. You want to put out a bad product, or you want to wait a day and
no, that wasn't his excuse for the one. That was his like long term being like, it's just hard having to do this all the time. It's like that's having to sit on a stream and bullshit around for 8 hours on a Sunday watching Call of Duty and then coming and talking about it for 45 minutes the next day in the afternoon. That is not what do we if we're that's the sticking point of like that's hard work. Like that's not Part of My Take.
What's the status of your relationship with those guys now?
Well, Jerry, I had to hang up on because I was on the phone with him. He does not stop calling me. It's annoying, yeah, I'd say. But I like Jerry, which is the problem with it. Sass, I don't really have a problem with it. Him, I've never had a problem with him. We've always had this sort of relationship. Now it's just obviously a little public. Like he would scream at me for 30 minutes. I scream back at him for 30 minutes, and then we're fine afterwards. Like I've never had any long-term resentment of anything Sass has done. Yeah, Mook, I think, is a lazy piece of shit.
See, that's the thing, though. Like, you call someone a piece of shit. It's like extreme.
It does seem extreme. Like I
don't think so. I think he's a bad guy.
Mook, and I think Mook has for a long time been trying to find his avenue, and I think he's like found it. And I think it's very frustrating if you're, and I've said this before, I said this to Roan, I said this to whoever. It's frustrating if you're a creative person and you are trying to do your best and you think you're doing great and you've got someone on your back like literally shitting down your throat constantly. And I feel like you in accepting this ask from Dave to be the buffer between him and Jerry have appointed yourself like the king of Bush, and all you do is shit on Mook behind his back and like say that he's a lazy piece of shit and kind of like shit on it. Like
Yes, that doesn't make it better because you say it to their face.
Behind his back and to his face. It's both. And I would say behind the back is obviously worse. To his face, yeah, he knows he hates you, but you're also talking about it behind his back in text, saying all this stuff to these random fucking people, encouraging them to behave that way. It just it feels slimy. It feels slimy and gross, and I just don't know why you thought that that's like a normal thing to do.
Dealing with Mook and the stuff that he says about everyone behind his back, I have absolutely zero problem. Like, there's no one who talks more shit
What's he
about
saying?
People in the company.
Put us on your side.
Every single other person at the company, whether it's people are being like, oh, like, what are we talking about? Being like, why'd you call them retards? Like, well, they're being retarded. It's like the amount of shit they talk about the sales team or people that are actively, when I'm trying to connect them with MB or sales people or like other people to get them going, and they're just trashing them, being like, it's like these people are trying to help you and you're doing that both behind the back and also sometimes in content. It's like they see that shit and they come to me and being like, hey, like you asked us to help these guys out, and they're being like, these people suck and they're not good at their jobs. It's like, how do you think that makes us feel?
What does Dave think about this? Have you expressed this to Dave, and is Dave on your side? Is he on their side? Does he not give a fuck? Like,
yeah, I would say the people being like, you said it there too, being like you appointed yourself or like you overstepped or whatever. If anyone in the world thinks that, the only person who can tell me what the parameters of my job are is this one person, and it's Dave, obviously. And if I was overstepping what the parameters of my job was, if you don't think Dave would have said something about that, then you guys
No one's saying overstepping. It's more so like you.
No, I'm saying, what does Dave think about your opinion of what happened with Bush? Is Dave like in lockstep with
Yeah,
you?
no,
Like,
he's not that in like the weeds of that, but I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think anything that I've ever said Dave has a problem with, especially from what he said to me or what he hasn't said to me.
got it. I want to, what's like an average, we can get back to the Bush stuff if you want, but I don't want to like waste all the time on this. I don't know if you have more stuff. I feel like we're
Yeah.
going in circles a little bit. I think a lot of people here have a question, like, what is an average day for Austin Jenkins with Dave?
I mean, it really just depends, obviously, on the season or what we're doing, or it's my job doesn't really have like a comparable like other job. Like I don't really have anything to compare it to. Like I
For sure.
started out as like I got hired to do his content, which is basically all that Frankie was doing was like the content aspect of things. So everything from like pre-production to like ideation of like shows and content or whatever to the actual like filming and execution of it to then the social and post-production of all that. That's
Yeah,
what it was
yeah.
supposed to be. And then he hired at the exact same time because he was getting more business shit, Kevin Bonner to do all like the chief of staff role.
Mm-hmm.
So like everything business related, like if Dave couldn't go to a meeting, Bonner would sit in and instead like deal with Erica and deal with our C-suite and deal with all that. Bonner quit after like a year, and then that day like Erica came up and asked me something that just wasn't my job and I was confused. And then like Kelly Martin came and asked me something and I was like, I don't deal with that. I don't know what you're talking about. And
Mm-hmm.
then our PR person came and all these people asked me the shit and Gaz. And I was like, why are people? And he's like, oh, like we had a meeting this morning and Dave said, you're going to take over Kevin's job. And
Oh,
Dave sat behind me at the time. It was in New York. And I turned around. I was like, am I doing Kevin's job? And he's like, oh, yeah, we should have had a conversation about that. You're going to do his job now.
that sounds
And I
about
was like,
right.
well, what about like my old job? He's like, well, just do them both.
Yeah.
And so that kind of just melded the like content aspects of things and like the business aspects of things. And then things have obviously changed a little bit since he bought the company back. Because we were kind of floating away from like the what do you want to say, the corporate structure of Barstool. He wasn't really involved in all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's like way more involved, which
Like,
by
what's the
Well, it
first
proxy
thing,
has
keeps,
made
it
like,
me
keeps you
way
busy,
more
I'm
involved.
sure.
what's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first thing you do when you wake up other than piss?
Still, it entirely
Is it
depends on
like,
the day.
look,
Like we're
just,
on the road.
yeah, if you're on the
What do
road
you
with
mean?
Dave. I was gonna say, like,
Well,
if you
one,
wake up, like, what's the first thing you think of work wise when you wake up? Like, I got to make sure Dave does this. Like, what's happening?
I mean, it's a mix of whatever content we're posting that day or things that whether I'm editing myself or someone on the team is editing and like checking into those things. And then the actual then business things like, do we have meetings? We have a lot of like, ever since we hired UTA, we have a lot of meetings because people
Oh,
just
yeah, I'm
like,
sure.
they, I mean, they're great. They're the reason we have the Netflix deal. They're the reason that we have the Fox deal.
For
Like,
sure, for
but
sure.
those all were because of, months and months and months of meetings of like, hey, meet this head of studio, meet this person and do this, and let's check in on this. And then eventually, like, let's do something now down the road, or let's have a show on FS1, or why don't you join Big Noon and all that sort of stuff. So it's just constant, like those sort of pitches and things, and then whatever like internal business meetings and things we have. Um, and then I just end up being the proxy of a lot of things. Like for UTI, I'm like the what do you want to say, the go-to person for UTA communicating with Barstool. So whether they deal with like part of my take or our sales team or whatever, and then by the same thing, also Fox or also Netflix. So just a lot of that sort of shit. I don't know.
For
It's
sure.
hard to quantify.
Well, yeah, I would say that nobody, despite all of our, all of our bickering, whatever it is, no one's really questioning whether or not you work hard. Like, obviously,
Yeah,
like
and I
you
don't
do a
care if they
bunch
are
of
either.
shit.
People's
No,
opinions of me, a perception
you
of
do
my
a
job
bunch of
doesn't
shit.
really bother me.
I would say once when I thought we were good friends, you told me that like Dave couldn't run his life without you. So I just kind of have always assumed that you're the guy pulling the strings, like literally to Dave's body. Like that's when I say like you're gonna wear his skin, like that's what I meant, like because you told me that once, and so I was like, oh
No, there's
wow,
nothing. There's nothing here.
there's no string. Okay, I just wanted to check and make sure that like
Yeah.
Dave's not like on the couch waiting for you to pick the strings back up, like just making sure.
No, he's okay.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I would say that like overall, when it comes to someone who works with Dave, I feel like for the rest of us, there's this feeling of like, okay, they work for Dave. Like there's a level of respect, I
And
think,
trust.
and trust.
Yeah.
Because it's like he or she, whoever it is who's working with Dave, obviously has to have a level of professionalism, obviously has to have a level of seniority and seriousness and all of these things that encompass working for someone who's a multimillionaire who runs a media company. You know, it's insane. But I would also say that we've seen it a million times over where people start at Barstool with one job and then it kind of morphs into other jobs, which you've already had that happen to you. But then now with this like content infusion, I'm not saying it's like not the right thing or that it's like a bad idea or whatever, but I am curious if you are going to move forward, kind of immersing yourself into some content, and if you are prepared for shifting again, because I'm wondering, like, do you care about people wanting to include you in their content, or is this just like a one-off thing? This Bush thing kind of fell in your lap and it got out of control, and now you're going to go back to like, you know, making
No, I have no
making
interest in
reservations for
doing
Dave.
content at all.
Okay.
Even in the slightest. The Bush thing was like they were like, we want to document every single part of what we're doing, and like if you're going to be in this role here, we would just like when we, whether it's check-ins or whether it's, you know, communication or budgets or whatever, they're like, we just want that all on camera. So it's like, fine, I don't really, I don't mind being in content. The only reason I did this is we obviously had probably both of us were in the same situation where Dave's like, oh yeah, get him on. So it's like, all right, I'll do it. And
Oh
you guys
yeah.
were like, all right, we'll invite him on. So it's like,
Yes, but also we wanted to have you on. Like I think we both genuinely think you're an interesting person. Like you're
mysterious. Like no one
Yeah.
really know. It's like we know you're Dave's guy, but like we don't know really like what you do. And obviously your job has an expiration date on it. You can't be his assistant forever.
Right.
And Dave said you would maybe have some sort of role here, like in like the corporate structure of Barstool.
Executive level role.
Executive level. When are you burnt out? When is your job going to end? And what do you want to do next year at Barstool?
no, I love my job. I think I have the coolest job in the world, obviously. So the
Dave
fact
has
that
a
I'm still
gun to
doing
his
it.
head.
Yeah. Dave's literally behind the
Right.
camera right
No,
now, so
it's
you
like-
better
so
fucking
it's
say
like-
this is the best job you've ever had.
It's like
But
a
you
lot of
can't
the
do it
shit-
forever. It's like you're gonna be doing this shit for. You're in a high stress job. You lost 40 pounds, and since I've seen you,
have,
last,
you have.
like
You're very
you
skinny
look like
now.
a different person.
Yes,
You're stressed
that's
out.
true.
You're dealing with bullshit on this. Like that has to get old. It has to drive you nuts. You can't live your life and wake up every day doing this. You have to take the next step. So like, what is the next step? And don't say you haven't been thinking about it, because you have to.
No,
have been
because
thinking about it.
we've had this conversation a million. There's not really a next step in terms of like what my job like. In terms of the progression of there's no like lateral or like upwards of what this like this is the job, like this is it.
Yeah.
And Dave, we've talked about like whatever eventually he said in the video too of like stepping away or doing less is like, does it mean I have to do more of those things? Like that's I at the core of my job a lot of the times is like in a perfect week I could talk to Dave 0 times and everyone else at the company could talk to Dave 0 times, and we could make all the same decisions that Dave would have made anyway.
Sure.
Like that is the ideal of like, he doesn't have to be bothered by anyone. And it's like, they'll come to me and either I'll make the decision myself based on what I think is the right decision or what I think Dave would do, or I'll bother him and be like, what do we want to do here?
Sure.
In an ideal thing, I never have to ask him that. And I always just know the right answer, but that's obviously never going to be the case. But I think that's an ideal situation. I don't know what the question was.
So the question was
well,
what the question was. Sorry, Kelly.
No, go.
The question was, this has an expiration date. So what do you want to do next after you shift out of this role for Dave?
Well, it kind of sounds like he's saying he wants to be like,
You just want to
Like
keep
I'm
He
very
wants to be in
involved
charge.
I'm very involved in like the company on like a day-to-day basis
uh-huh.
of like, but Dave owns the company. Dave's going to own the company forever. It's always going to be his company. There's always going to be it happened a little bit like the interns thing of like Fasoli obviously going off was a little bit like tongue in cheek, but like there's always going to be like a little bit of a need to like, we got to make sure we're not straying too far from what like Barstool is and what Barstool's supposed to be and like all that. I enjoy that. Like I enjoy being in that. And like, I've been a fan of Barstool I grew up in Massachusetts. So it's like, I was reading Barstool from the time that I was like 11. So I very much have felt like I was a part of the journey and then obviously became a little bit a part of the journey. But I very much enjoy this company and working at this company. Obviously I love my job at what it is, but it's like, if it has to transition to something else, I don't think I want to be working anywhere else. But who knows? If Dave steps away and this place completely changes, maybe I'll hate it. Who knows?
I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
you're not answering the question. Like, are
No,
we not
he's not-
answering the
he's not
questions?
saying-
But I don't have an
I
answer
think-
for you. Like,
well,
I love my job. And
no,
it's
no,
like,
no.
All right, I was like,
Awesome,
what do you
no.
want to do next? You're like, I love
We're not
my
saying
job.
no,
I
but
don't
we're
get
not
I'm
it.
saying there isn't. I don't
Right,
think there
right.
is a logical,
We're not
real.
saying like
Got it.
outside of Barcelona. We're not saying like if you're to leave Barcelona. We're saying like
Yeah.
if you were to assume a
understand
different
that.
role within Barcelona, what would it be?
Yeah, I'm saying I don't think there is a natural
yeah.
lateral or upwards progression for what
Sure.
my job is. I
I
just
think
think
that
it'll
makes
probably
sense.
be more of the stuff that I'm doing some of,
Right.
as opposed to like direct Dave things.
And then
Totally.
if you have to deal with more people at Barstool, but then you have a reputation for being a dickhead, are you worried that people aren't going to respect you if you're in charge of more people, but you have to be a dickhead?
No,
Or
not particularly.
people think you're a dickhead.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, but that's there's this whole perception from the last couple of weeks that I'm like walking down the hallways and like punching babies and stealing walkers from like old
well, we
ladies
did
that walking down
actually
the
see you
thing.
do that.
Yeah,
So
right.
I don't know. We actually have footage of you doing exactly that. So that's going to be tough when that comes out.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like that, it's if you want to say like, oh, he's like cold or like he's not like overly sociable in the office, sure. But it's like the people who are like,
We're not calling you old, I promise.
Yeah.
oh no, I said
You're
cold.
29.
Cold.
Oh, cold. I thought you were
Like, if
saying
you wanna
old. I was
say-
like, damn.
If you want to say that, sure. Like,
Yeah.
but also there's a very big difference. I'm in around the content people just because of what my job is and like I wouldn't say for the content people, I understand and talking all day and you're doing all this stuff. That's where a lot of collaboration, all this comes from. It doesn't really benefit and it usually detracts from my job on a day-to-day basis. One, if I'm just out there chit and chatting with people all day, and two, if I have
course.
really close personal relationships with people that work here, especially in content, it sometimes makes my job harder from like an objective standpoint if I have like those sort of relationships. So it's like it's a little bit of a concerted thing of like I'm not trying to be best friends with everyone here because I think
Right.
being objective is then a little bit harder.
But I'm
Sure.
not saying be best friends or being objective. I'm saying be friendly. Like, you don't want your reputation in any office to be a dickhead. Like, that's not good. Like, if your reputation is a
don't care.
dickhead. All right. So, and you don't think that matters at all?
It hasn't mattered in the
Based-
7 years I've been here.
Well, you've been doing just Dave the 7 years I've been here. What I'm saying is, if you're going to be dealing with
I mean,
a bunch
Dave
of
is
other people,
Barstool. To say like I've done just Dave.
no,
would
but I'm
be-
saying if you're going to be dealing with 1,000 other people here and 1,000 other employees, you want these employees to like you and respect you. It's
I would
not-
say I currently deal with 1,000 other employees in this capacity.
Well, you just said you only
It
dealt
hasn't
with
been an
like
issue.
you said you only dealt with like the only people like Kevin and like all these people upstairs. That's like 5 people. Because the general
No, I said I
consensus.
have great relationships with all of them. I deal with probably just about everyone here.
All right.
For sure. Wait, 2 questions. One, what would you say your own title is? Like, I know we've been calling you his
On
Dave's
paper,
assistant,
on
whatever.
paper, I think it's chief
Yeah.
of staff. I think is on paper,
Chief
but
of
the
staff.
title.
Okay, because I
but
think
the
I think
title doesn't-
assistant's obviously degrading. You're more
I don't
than
know.
that.
I don't think it's degrading. I just think you
degrading,
do
but he's
more
more
than that.
He's more
yeah.
than that.
No,
yeah, so
I mean
chief of staff
Danielle
makes
is Dave's.
sense.
Danielle is Dave's assistant. Like in terms of like the actual roles and like and stuff. Like she deals with all the house stuff and she books the flights and she does the
Sure,
hotels
sure.
and all this stuff and
Like a
she's
personal
phenomenal.
assistant. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Of
correct.
course, we die for
So-
Daniela here. We love Daniela, and that's
Yeah.
that's kind of a difference. Like we love Daniela.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
but anyway,
I don't know. I just
But to
don't
me, it
really
doesn't
like.
really matter. Like it doesn't
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
matter to me if you guys like me or not. It just doesn't. It doesn't affect my job.
yeah, for sure.
I think it affects you personally, and I think you're lying, and I think you care what people think. I think deep down in that fucking cold, dead heart of yours, you care very much what people think, Austin.
I don't.
You don't at all. Are you in a relationship?
Yeah, I guess.
You are?
Oh my God! Congrats.
With who?
Thank you.
How did you meet?
Interesting.
Long story.
Interesting.
Well, we got time.
Nah.
Do you want to
My
ask?
personal life.
Do you want to ask? We asked people for anonymous questions for you around the office. Can we ask you
Cool.
some?
Knock yourself out. You got any
Yeah.
from Sam?
No, but I did ask him yesterday, and he goes, "Oh no, no, I don't have anything for Austin." So he's afraid of you. Congrats.
No, he's not. Sam's not afraid
No,
of me.
he's not. Sam's a precious angel.
He was saying he's going to get a ring light for his tell-all confessional.
We love
I love
Sam.
that.
Here's one. Do you have access to a lot of information at Barstool Sports? Have you ever looked up an employee's salary for no reason?
I don't know how to answer that question.
The answer is yes.
So that's a yes.
No.
Okay,
I've
okay.
never. There's never. If I have any involvement with people's salaries or anything, it would never be for no reason. No.
So
But I'm
you
not even
have,
saying I do.
Okay.
but do you have access to employee salaries and have you looked them up?
I don't think it's a relevant question.
Okay,
I
so
think he
that's
definitely does.
okay.
I think it's safe to assume he's got access to every single bit of this entire company.
If
I
someone,
think that's safe to assume.
100%. If someone
Yeah.
emails Dave,
He's
does
the
that
chief of
go?
staff.
Does that go right to
If I have
you?
access to things in this company, it's because I'm supposed to have access to those things. And
Yeah.
if I would ever access them, it was because I would have to do that in the capacity of what my job is, or I was asked to do it. I'm not out here doing like personal whims of like I do take my job extremely seriously.
He's
No, for sure.
Diplomatic answer.
Do you? So yes. Do you? When someone emails Dave, does that go right to you? And then do you ever respond as Dave? Like if I were to email Dave about a
No.
contract, or Kelly was to, are you the person going through his email and looking?
No, he's very good at, well, I mean, not very good, but he for the most
Yeah.
part tries to read like most emails that come to him. Yeah.
Interesting.
Can I ask one?
Yeah, of course.
What is your perception of the like temperament of the content people? Because I feel like
That's a good
there's
question.
like whenever I talk to salespeople, and I'm not singling out just salespeople, production as well. They're looped into this too. I feel like sometimes we're talked about like we're a group of unruly children or something. Do you view us in that way, or do you like have respect for what we do as content people, or do you think like, oh,
you
I gotta
respect
herd these
us?
cats?
I think it's too broad of a brush to just be like content people. Like, I think there's a very big variety of personalities, attitudes, work ethics,
Mm-hmm.
etc., talent between the entire thing of content people. I would say there is I don't want to say natural resentment, but I'm not super shocked.
Natural.
That's not
That's
what I
my
expected
resting
you. That's not
personality.
what I expected
Is
you to
natural
say.
resentment is my
I'm saying
resting
I'm not.
It's not
personality.
that though. He's saying it's not.
I'm saying I'm not shocked if you're saying like behind the scenes people, whatever, seem to be like unruly children. It's like the content people for probably a lot of people here are like, that's a dream job. And it's like, if I ever got, it's the same thing I think a little bit with the fans of being like,
Sure.
if I ever had that job, like I'd be there 10 hours a day, every single day. I'd never be working from home on a Friday. Like those people, when that's like Barstool's a dream job, and then probably to whether it's people internally or externally, then content is like the dream of the dream job, being
Mm,
like you get to work at Barstool and like the only thing you got to do is just like sit around and talk all day or whatever people's perception of what your guys' job is.
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised with what you're saying, being like, oh, they're unruly children, or like, oh, they don't have work ethics or whatever. I think that's probably just a natural rub of like people being like, well, if I was in that position, this is what I would do, or this
Right.
is what it
Sure,
would
sure,
be.
yeah. So, but you don't have that desire to be like, no, no, no. They put, they work hard too. Like they're important too. Like, do you have that like drive to stand up for content people?
In what capacity? Internally or like externally? Or
Both, either.
I don't think content has like needs me to defend them. I don't think they need me out there like on the
But
shield.
You are
do
Like,
you
so
but do
fucking
you want
diplomatic. It's
to? That's what
insane.
I'm saying.
I'm
I'm
not.
asking you
No,
as
I'm
on
saying
like a
I
human
don't
level.
think they
Would you
need
want
to.
to defend people here?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people here get bad raps for things. Like, yeah, no shit. Like the people that are working in content aren't working blue collar jobs. They're not out there on a work site digging ditches.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you could have this job and work 20 hours a week, you'd have the job. It's like there's a reason that you don't have the job. The people that like
Mm-hmm.
consume this and be like, I want to do this and I want to do that. I'm sorry, but there's a reason that you work in what you do and they work in what they do. It's
Right.
Mm-hmm.
because guess what? Kelly Keys probably couldn't dig a ditch, but it's like a lot of these guys probably couldn't come up here and like be entertaining on camera. So there is like this give and take of the fans are very important and they matter. And they're the only reason, obviously, that these jobs exist and everyone else's job exists because it's all based off of the content.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, yeah, no shit. The content people aren't working 100-hour work weeks. Like, it
Yeah.
does not take that long sometimes to just record a podcast or do this thing. And it's like even like the people like Brandon Walker who like work very hard. It's like, yeah, but even he works super hard because it's hard to be on camera and be entertaining and all the time. But it's like, all right, you do mostly sports, the yak. It's like that's still only 4 hours. Like even that's a lot of work in terms of like energy and expenditure. It's
Totally.
still only 20 hours a week in that case. So it's like you're never going to get a 9 to 5 aspect of the people who actually work in content,
Mm-hmm.
but people just want to do that because they put themselves in that shoes and they're like obviously envious of being in that position or like I wish that I could do that, and if I was I'd work harder than every single other person. And then once you get
Sure,
there, you
yeah.
naturally just don't.
People also forget too, like that's kind of the point of working here is to not
Yeah.
have a 9 to 5.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that is once you're here, it's like thank fucking God I don't have to be in a cube every day doing this shit.
For
Like
sure.
that's the
Yeah.
point. And then if you're online bitching, you need to be here from this time. It's like shut up. The whole reason we're here is to not fucking do that.
Yeah.
Here's a question. You might be able to guess who this is from, but they wanted to remain anonymous.
I haven't seen
I
half
know
of these,
it
Austin,
is.
by the
Hold
way.
on, where to go? When are the Disney boys going back to Disney?
Oh, okay.
Anonymous.
I mean, based on being in the office, it's Robbie, obviously.
Correct.
But
Yep,
the
that would be correct.
um,
That would be correct.
Robbie has that answer. Robbie, we've had this conversation. Dave was like, "Yeah, I would absolutely do Robbie's bachelor party as the
Oh, how
Disney boys."
Oh,
great
you
would
have
that be?
to. That would be
But it's
so
on
fun.
it's on him, and well, I guess Jeff D'Lo is like he came with a laminating spreadsheet last
Well,
time.
of
He's
course.
the one who like did
God,
the
God
he
forbid.
had 15-minute breakdowns of what we were doing
He
every
would be the
15
best to go
minutes
on a
on a
vacation with. I love
100%.
when
Well,
someone
especially
plans all that.
Disney.
Oh God, yeah.
So
Like
once,
Jeff D'Lo
once
would have
Jeff
it all.
plans that and picks like a date and everything, we will do the Disney boys for Robbie's bachelor party. Dave said
Wow.
yes like 4 times, but Robbie keeps asking. Like he said it yes already.
Okay. All
All
right. So it
right.
sounds like the ball is in Jeff D'Lo's court. And I
Hell
know,
yeah.
would you consider Jeff D'Lo and Tommy Smokes your best friends?
Who are your best? Yeah, who are your best friends at the company?
I
People
only
that,
asked
like,
that because
have-
I know you guys chat in a group chat. That's the only reason I asked that.
Sure.
Because
Yeah, we do.
Because I've made you've made it clear that I'm not your friend, but like, are they your
Yeah,
friends?
no. Yeah, I would say Tommy and Jeff are friends.
Okay. Okay. I'm just wondering where the line is for
Who's your
friends.
biggest
No,
enemy here,
Keegs.
Austin?
Keegs, my thing with what you said is like people's perception of me or my job, whatever, just does not bother me at all. It's opinions, and it's like
Yes.
the best thing about this part and working here is like people could take shots or say things about whoever here. That didn't bother me.
Mhm.
That was just like a undeniable incorrect fact about
And you wanted to put a
our
tweet up because
relationship.
you knew that everybody would hate in my guts afterwards. Like
No,
and
that
by
was,
the
Yeah,
way,
that
that's
was the only
facts.
thing.
also,
That's facts.
also, Austin, listen, I will say I didn't actually the clip that you saw, there were two different conversations. When we first brought you up, I said, I like Austin. I've been out with him a couple of times. I don't know him too well. Later on, the clip that you saw was me being like, I thought that Austin was collectively the content
I
people's
saw a clip
friend,
being
like,
like,
oh, he's a confidant, like we can trust him, he's cool, he's our friend. But like you said, and I actually do think there's some truth to this. You can't really be close friends with all of us when business is involved if things go
Yeah.
south. I get that. But that's
That
what I
was
meant by
the-
that. I
the clip that
obviously
I saw-
under absolutely no pretenses do I think we're friends, especially not now.
Yeah, the clip that I saw was I used to go out with him all the time. He was always going out with us, like, oh, I consider him a friend, whatever. And I was like, not even, I wouldn't even say we were really acquaintances. I don't even think I had your number until like a year ago. And it was like one work thing that we ever said. And so I was like, I just don't want being like, oh, he's changed, like he's this. It's like,
Yeah.
I've been the same person the entire time. And
You don't
to
want,
be
you don't
like,
want your
this
you
is
don't want
from
your girlfriend to know we hung out a couple of times?
being like, this is from a friend's perspective of like, here's where I'm coming from as a former friend of his. It's like, we were never friends. Like,
Listen, okay,
Yeah.
that's and messages received, and
Yeah.
everybody
Look,
will
maybe
hear it
we
now.
can maybe we can mend that bridge right
Oh, no,
now.
no, no.
Are you guys
No, no,
willing
no.
to be
I am-
Austin? Are
I
you
am
willing
no
to be friends with
longer-
Kelly right now?
Pat, no, I'm no longer amenable to be friends
No.
with Austin. I think that he's made his
Same.
stance clear, and that's totally fine. And like I said, I don't think his girlfriend would love that. I also don't think anybody expects us to be friends moving forward.
I've never tried to be Austin. I don't think I've ever really talked to you, Austin, actually, until today, which has been
No.
which is fine.
I did-
We don't
I
cross
did, like-
paths. That's fine. I don't need to be friends
I
with
did
everyone.
like thinking we had a cordial relationship because my importance to our relationship is as long as it doesn't affect my relationship with Dave. That's important to me.
well, I would say like, it'd be like, oh, we had a cordial relationship. Then you took shots at me for 40 minutes. So it's like, how cordial a relationship did you
What
think it
shots
was?
did
Well,
you take? Don't
I
even
just said he
remember.
was. I said he was talking like Dave, trying to wear his skin.
Oh yeah, you definitely his
And that's-
personality
I mean,
has definitely
what-
rubbed
where's
off
the
on
lie?
you. But that
Where's the
happens to
lie?
everyone when you work for them.
But
and you
being
hang
like,
out with
oh
them.
yeah, he's changed and he's done this and he's done that, and being like all the things that you were saying were like, all right.
I didn't say
well,
it. I said that
if you thought-
that
if
you're
you thought that
different
was a
now
cordial
because
relationship,
you used to
we have a
be
different
like nicer
definition of cordial.
and like more chit chatty with us, and now you're not, and that's different.
I don't think I was ever
100%
really that
that's
chit
different.
chatty with you guys. Also, I don't live
Maybe
there.
it was
It's
a
like, is
proximity
this like
thing.
a?
Yeah, maybe it was
Yeah.
a proximity thing, but I don't know. I know that you isolate yourself in that office in Chicago. I don't know.
I isolated myself in the office in New York when I was there the same way.
No, I don't know. All right. I guess maybe my memory is hazy.
When I lived in
thought
New
you would
York, I
chop
would
it
say
up
the
once
people-
Dave went home for the day, but okay.
I would say when I lived in New York, the people that I'm saying in a post like Dave even being in the office world.
Mm.
Like when he lived in New York, it was obviously a slightly different situation.
Mhm.
But when Dave was gone from New York and moved, and I was still living in New York, I would say I had the exact same relationship with that office as I currently do with Chicago, which the people in there would be like, oh, he's not really a part of the office. Like he's
Okay.
here and he's working in his office when he's there. I wouldn't say he's our friend. He's not really out
So
there
you
like
don't go out with
saying
any of
hi in
those
the
you don't go
hallways.
out with any of those people in Chicago ever?
No, not really. No, I mean like the people that I'm like was
Who's
already
like your
friends
crew in
with,
Chicago?
like, but it's not really work people, honestly. Like I go out with
Okay.
Nick sometimes and like those sort of people, um, like the Anus crew. But like I don't really,
Minus Mook though, I guess.
yeah, that's obviously a different
Yeah,
I just don't
yeah.
understand what
situation
the
now.
hatred you
Right.
guys have for each other. It's so
Right.
like bizarre to me.
It's a
Like,
bunch of shit. It's just a
but it's like
long
it all
of a year.
sours
Well, I'm
It's
sad.
just from
I hope
this
you guys work
fucking-
it out at least eventually, because I
Yeah.
am sad, because I do like Mook, and I think he's well intentioned, but I understand that you have your business standards that he's not living up to. So I understand.
well, it's like you got in a once we the I'd say the biggest turning point was when they crashed the car in England and the way
Yeah,
that
that was
Dave
tough. That was tough.
well, because the conversation that Dave had with me after was very clear that his perception of how much I was in charge of Bush was a lot more than I thought it was, or responsible for everything that they did.
Okay.
To the point in which he was like, he's like, I'm not joking. Like, this is 100% your fault, the fact they crashed the
Damn.
car. And I was like, all right, well, if I'm going to be responsible in Dave's eyes for everything they do, I need to be a little more hands-on and be a little harder on these guys because it's a
Oh.
reflection on me in this
So,
situation.
okay,
Well, we
so
buried
that
the
was the
lead. That's
catalyst.
the entire fucking thing then.
Okay, so then now we've gotten to the root of it. So the
Yeah.
catalyst was that you felt responsible, and you were held accountable for something you didn't necessarily feel was what you should have been accountable for. So you decided to take the reins on
But no,
something and control
yeah,
the
yeah.
situation moving forward.
Not that I didn't feel that I had to be accountable for, because if Dave says you're accountable for this, you are accountable for that. That's
Well,
just
right,
the
but
way
you
things
didn't-
work here.
you
At
didn't
the
think you
time,
were until he
that was
said
not
it.
my
Yeah.
reflection of what it was. Correct.
Yes. Percent.
Do you regret the way that you handled that situation and managed everyone?
No, like we had enough talks where it was like it was just the same thing over and over again. Where I'm like, you just can't do these three things, and then they would do the three things and be like, "Hey,
Right.
we're sorry, we didn't mean it." And then we'd meet again and be like, "Hey guys, make sure we don't do this." And they'd be like, absolutely, we got it. And then they do it and they'd be like, hey, we're so sorry. And eventually gets to the point which, and I said it to the last time, like, hey man, we're sorry. And I was like, the sorry doesn't mean anything to me anymore. Because if you just keep doing the same behaviors that I'm saying we can't do this, and then you do it, it's like, it doesn't matter if it's sorry because it was an accident or sorry because it was malicious and you were just trying to get one over on it. It's like either way, it's the same end result. So it's
Was
like
it
it doesn't
clear?
matter if you're sorry.
Was it clear to them that that the accountability was on
Could
you?
not be more. No, oh yeah, that was. But in terms of like the things that I'd be like, hey, we can't do this, and they would do it. It could not be like when I say black and white of like texts and phone calls and meetings of like, I felt like I was going insane by the end of it because I was being like spelling it out, being like, do not do this. And then the next day they would do that. And I was
Sure.
like, what am I taking crazy pills? What is happening? Like, no, you're right. That's on us.
Okay. All right.
So
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that makes sense. And so now it's done. Your time with Bush Gaming is done. They're on their own. They've flown the nest.
yeah, I would say like the end of the year, it was just going to be because I was like, oh, we're all in the same boat, and it's like I'm going to be responsible for this, or I'm going to be viewed with it. I don't feel like getting yelled at for things that it's like if I can help you guys or figure things out, like
Yeah.
let's try to do that. I was doing more than I had to just to get to that point of like let's just put this in a good spot. So it's like I could take a step back and like not do a lot of the stuff and still do the things and not really have interaction or whatever.
Right.
But I think Dave's probably in it enough that I don't really have to be involved at all. I mean, it's basically the off season or whatever. So if I have to do something with them or whatever, that'll get defined probably in the next few months. But
So
I don't
is
think
this
they want to
your-
work with me. I don't want to work with them.
Sure. Okay. All right.
I
The
think
lines
it's
have been
pretty
drawn.
clear.
So is this your official resignation to anything and all content related videos or additives, anything that you are a part of? Like, are you retired from all of it unless Dave says otherwise moving forward?
Or if someone that like I respect and like is like, hey, will you come? Like Big Cat asked me to come on the Yak and do it, and I was like, yeah, sure. Like
Oh,
I
well,
don't
the
have a
yak is
problem with
different.
that.
They pull everybody
It's
on
like-
the yak.
Do you
So
respect
it's
and
like-
like us? Is that why you're here?
I like
No, he's here because he doesn't want to get fined. That's literally what's happening.
No,
a
he
little
was-
bit.
He does not want to be here.
Yeah, but no, I would say I thought what you guys have in terms of like a need for an inside Barstool, especially out of the New York thing, it's good. Like out and about for that is good. And I think you two are naturally like, whether you want to say, I don't want to say catty because I don't know if that sounds a little
Bitchy.
bit just like,
Yeah,
yeah, whatever.
We can call us
And
bitchy.
just like
That's a.
enough that
I'll wear
like
that proudly.
enough that I don't think you guys would have a problem. And you did it to me for 40 minutes, so clearly you don't have a problem of
How
like
many
going
times did
after
you watch us
people and
talk
like
shit
doing
about you?
stuff.
Sounds like you know exactly how long. Sorry.
Oh, I saw the thing. I saw like 7 or 8 clips. I watched probably the majority of it. Yeah.
So you do like and respect us, is what we're getting at?
I don't know if I really like you guys.
Who's like your
fine.
number one? Or I want
What
to
about
I want to
respect?
rephrase. We have no respect, Pat. Don't even ask.
Do you-
I would like to rephrase. Is there any Barstool content that you consume organically / who would be your favorite like Barstool content to consume?
You want to know a really funny answer to this thing? You want to know a podcast that I've watched since episode 1?
Yeah. What?
Son of a Boy Dad.
Oh, of course. Well, everybody loves
course.
Son of a Boy Dad.
But
Everyone
just,
loves
it was a
Rome.
funny. It was
Everyone
it was
loves
a funny.
Francis. Everyone loves
It was a
Sass.
funny.
Like
I
they're
watched
golden
that
boys.
since episode 1, and then I consume like a large amount of Barstool content just because it's like necessary for my job.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
like I had watched Son of a Boy Dad and Anus both since episode 1.
Okay.
I wouldn't say anything else is like in my like I watched the majority of Yaks just because it's kind of needed to like know what's going on, like all that sort of stuff of like whether it's keeping Dave informed or just general stuff that's going on in the company. But I consume a pretty good amount of like everything, I think. I think I have a pretty good pulse of what's going on.
For sure. What do you do like for fun? Like what do you do for in your free time? Like do you have moments to yourself?
I don't really have a lot of free time, honestly.
Okay.
But it's also like a little bit of a hard thing to complain where it's like I work a dream job. Like the stuff that I do is like even some of the things it's like you're considering this like working, like this is technically work right now. So no, I don't really have a problem with it. Like I'm very happy with the job, like where it's put me in life.
For sure.
Like
But it's
I have
like
more money than I think I would have at this point in my life.
much
Otherwise,
you
like
get
Dave's
paid?
very
definitely
generous.
love that. Love that. Love
Um,
making money.
How much you get paid?
So it's like, I'm not gonna answer that question.
$1
Can I give you
billion.
I'll put a number and you say below or above.
I'm not gonna answer.
All right.
Don't
A
do
couple
that to
more questions from people here in the office. Biggest business decision you have made on behalf of Barstool without asking that has backfired?
Oh.
Ooh. I don't know because, like I said, I think when the decision-making tree comes of like, all right, this is either make the decision or go to Dave. My rationale has to be either I make the right decision or I make the decision Dave would have made. So it's like if I don't go to Dave and it comes back and it either is okay, that's the right decision, or okay, I would have made that decision. The third option, which is the option of I fucked up, is that's not the right decision. That's not the decision Dave would have made, and it's wrong. So those I have a pretty good gauge, I think, of either right decision or what Dave's decision would be. And if I don't, I would just go to Dave. So I can't think of anything that I made myself, didn't go to Dave, and it was just a complete fuck up.
What about the
because
most
I think
trouble
we're
you've
pretty
been
good.
in with Dave?
Austin's he's such a politician. It's
know,
crazy.
fucking
It's
Christ,
like,
man.
it's
Give
like,
us something.
It's like loosen up.
I would not say I'm a
Jesus.
politician.
What's the most trouble you've been in with Dave? Well, anytime I've been close to being in trouble,
Yeah. Well, it's not like I actually
No,
really
I'm-
get in trouble because there's an opportunity
had
for me
to-
to not get in
yeah.
trouble, so I don't get
No,
in
I mean,
trouble
yeah, yeah,
because
Come
Dave doesn't
on,
want me to get in
Austin.
trouble.
I'm trying to fucking figure out which one of it is. Like I've been
I
yelled
know,
at
I
probably
know.
5 times a Dave, like true blue, like fury Dave.
Yeah.
The most mad, he was not happy about a Bobby Altoff thing that we had a while back.
Oh, she's crazy.
I
say that,
clipped
but-
something out of context. I bleeped it. It made it seem like Dave like DM'd her. Or
Oh,
she
I
DM'd
remember
Dave and,
that.
like,
I
did
remember
his
that.
thing.
Yeah.
Her PR team freaked out, but they were mad about a different thing because Lil Yachty, and that's why like her and Drake stopped being friends was because of what
Right.
she said about Lil Yachty on our show. But they
Right.
were really mad about that, but we were never going to take that clip down. But because I fucked up the other one, Dave's like, I feel responsible that we have to take this down. We're
Yes.
kowtowing the fucking agents and all this shit. And you're a fucking moron and XYZ and whatever.
Yeah, that was
when he
a
gets like really
mess.
mad, he'll like yell on the phone. hang up and then call back to yell more. Like that's like the like he's so mad he thought about something else, was gonna come back and is like now like I got more for it. So that
Yep.
was one of those. I've had a couple of those. I haven't had a ton of those because he's not like he gets mad in the moment and then it's over with. And also like he understands like I'm making a million decisions of like this thing, that thing, and sometimes he fucks up, and it's never an effort thing. Like the most
For
mad that
sure.
I ever get with like my team and stuff is like when you make effort decisions that are just like you were just lazy in that moment and you fuck something up, as opposed to like you just made a bad judgment call. Those are like a lot easier to forgive. So it's like when you're coming from that place, and no one that I work with really, I think, is that where they're just so like I've had that. I mean, I know Pat did because the girl who used to do our show went to Pat's and he was like, "You were so right about everything that you said about her."
Wait, what is this talking?
Um,
What are you talking about?
Girl
the
who used to
Emily
do
girl
your
that used to
show.
edit.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh.
like those are the
Mm.
sort of people that would say I'm a dick. Like those where we had constant
Yeah,
like
yeah.
effort mistakes where it's
Yeah.
like
Sure. But that's
you were
like
just being
that's you should be
lazy, and
work like
that's when I
yeah,
get.
that's a little different, I think. But yes,
Yeah,
I see your point from that perspective.
that's the two. Those when people are like Austin's a dick, it would either be the people who here who are incompetent, and it's like I'm constantly like, how we fuck that up, like that sort of thing, or just by nature of you deal with me so much that sometimes things just get fucked up. But it's just like the tech team is phenomenal. They
Hmm.
probably think that I'm not like the nicest guy because it's like every time we're doing something, it's like instantaneous. It has to be done now. It has to be done this, and then something gets fucked up because it's like we're going so fast, and it's like what the fuck, like
Hmm.
that sort of thing. But they're all great, and like I understand that they probably think that I'm mean because of that, and like that's okay. That's just like high pace, fast paced sort of environment.
Yeah, well, that's
Um,
business. That's showbiz, babes. You
so
know,
those are the
those
people
things I
that would
think are
probably be like,
excluded
Austin is a
from the
dick.
majority of the conversation. Yeah. Well, no. Like, you're a dick in that way, but that just means you're working hard. There's just like, it's the personal stuff I think that people get upset about. Like, I think those like texts to that random fucking freak about Mook were uncalled for. I think that like the lording over them is a little uncalled for. And you can tell when you're having fun with it and like getting in the mix. Like we can always tell when someone's getting in the mix. It's just whether or not you actually want to be in that mix is the question. Because if you're in it, you're in it. And if you're not, you're not. And that I think is a thing I've said a lot of times about a lot of people. They think they want to be in it. And then we all, rise up and are like, blah, and then they don't actually want to be involved at all. And then they turtle a little bit and whatever. Not saying that you're doing that, but
Who are those people?
like Jacob Ames did that. He thought he was like going to get involved in some
Got it, got
shit,
it,
and
got it,
then
got it, got it.
he like retreated and said, "Actually, I don't want the smoke." Like, there's a lot of people that do that specifically over time. Like, I'm not just saying that that's exclusive to him. He's just the most
Peyton did
recent
it in
example.
Las Vegas.
Peyton did it in Vegas, yeah.
And she
But
called
it's
out
like,
Una and then just ran away.
yeah, but it's I understand
Credit
that
to you. You don't run away.
people
so.
think that like they want this moment, and maybe it's the environment. Maybe everybody around is so it's a high energy environment. Tensions are high, stakes are high. Like it's either live or it's filmed or it's cemented on the internet forever. So they think like, I'm gonna do this thing, and then either you get paid to sit in that what you've done, which is
Right.
like what we do, or you get to retreat back to your regular job and kind of hope it all blows over. So I guess really the whole point of having this conversation with you in general is to find out like, are you trying to peek into this blazing sunshine that we're in, or are you trying to continue to, build from the shadows and do your best?
No, I think my integration with content has kind of been like, I mean, it's just the way that Dave deals with things, where it's like the people who are involved in his life or like doing things or fucking like that's what I think a lot of the reason why none of this really bothered me is like for 7 years, the only time I've ever been mentioned is by the biggest person in this company being like, this guy sucks or this guy's a moron or like, so it's like, oh, the only perception that anyone has ever had from there is like, only when I fuck up. So it's like,
Yeah.
then people being like saying all this shit now, it's like, yeah, I've part of it was a personality, I think, already, but it's like I'm pretty used to it at this point where it's like if I'm getting mentioned, it's not for good things. Like people
Right.
aren't Dave's never tweeted and be like, Austin did such a good job today. Like he really fucking killed this thing. It's
I
like
mean,
if
he
I'm
did
getting talked
say
about,
he said you're his guy. Reese. I mean, he says that all the time.
yeah.
Has that lost its weight? Austin's my guy. It's
No,
kind of
no,
the
like I know that I'm very good at my job.
yeah, for sure.
The way that Dave uh makes that clear, whether it's like payment or whether that's actual compliments, like he
Mm-hmm.
does a very good job of like, you know, where you stand with him at all times. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I don't feel the need for pats on the back. It's like, and I'm not that way either. Like I would say, like Sam Marina are both like awesome they don't hear that they're awesome like ever, because it's just like we just expect it's
Sam is
you get
gonna
it done.
jerk
Yeah.
off to hearing that.
For
by the
sure.
way.
Well, this is reminding me of Mad Men, of like, that's what the money is for. Like,
Exactly.
that's what's happening here, which is great. That's how it should be.
I would say that the same
For
thing.
your
The people that have worked for me that are bad would be like, he's a dick. The people that work for me that are good would be like, he's a dick, but no one rides harder for us when it comes to end of years, or when it's like these sort of things of being like, these people are valuable to this company and we should keep these people, like the Sams and like Trents and like all the people of the world that have been phenomenal in this thing would be like, yeah, Austin went to bat for me, or like this, like that's, yeah, you get yelled at in the time and it sucks because it's fast and we always need to be perfect and we always need to be instantaneous. But I do recognize how hard that is and dealing with me is. And I then make that as clear as I can, being like, these are the people that make this place run and we should be rewarding those people.
For sure.
All right. Well,
do you quickly before we release him from the shackles of this podcast, do we have any other office questions?
I
that we
mean, there
didn't
were a
get to?
few. I think we pretty much covered all of them. A lot of it was just basically like, what do you do? And
Yeah,
like,
sure.
do you think you're a jerk? That was like the big fucking theme here.
Yeah.
Expiration date on your job, we got. End goal of your job, we got.
Check, he's got a girlfriend.
Yeah, girlfriend we've got. Now, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. I think I have pretty much the same understanding I had of you before. Nothing's really come to light. I'm like, all right, this is
but
pretty
here's
much
the
what I
thing,
thought it was
is
going to be.
There's an extra.
Yeah.
There's confirmation, I think, now, Austin, that you are purposefully reluctant to really be involved with anybody on a personal level, and that's completely fine and that's cool. But it's good to know. Good to know going forward that you're a business guy first. You're not going to be getting drinks with us after work. You're not going to be hanging out. You're not going to be making laughs, making jokes. At least not with us or anybody. I don't know who you treat like that, but
I wouldn't say that I'm not like, I didn't come to like, I like this job a lot, and I obviously
no. We're not talking about the job, though. We're not talking about the job.
But
though.
I'm saying that from the purpose of like the best way to do my job,
Yeah.
I think is that relationship with a lot of people that work here, and it's like I would rather have that than slapping asses and high-fiving everyone in the hallways.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know how many asses we'd be slapping. Who knows? But
Well, I think we get it.
Say ultimately,
Yeah,
I
I
think we
mean,
get
it's
it.
like, it is what it is.
We
at
know who
this
your
point.
favorites
You
are
hate
now.
Mo- you
Nick,
hate
KB,
Moog, yeah,
Jeff,
you-
Tommy. Those are your faves.
Yeah, your faves are
And they'll
like,
have jobs for life because Austin's their best friend.
Exactly, 100%.
I wouldn't say that.
I'm kidding. I'm
You
kidding.
wouldn't say that. All right, Austin, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I'll probably see you in like another 2 or 3 years.
We're
Next time
trying
we see
to
you in
we're
person.
trying to come to Chicago in a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's what we wanted to ask.
Oh yeah. We got well,
I thought
actually,
you hate Chicago.
we do hate. I hate Chicago, but
I don't mind
Yeah.
Chicago. We were going to go there to, this is what I want to ask of you. We were going to go there to record some stuff in August, and then we were texting with Dave, and then his like tooth exploded, so he didn't get back to us. Can you ask Dave if we're good to go to Chicago?
and tell him that we promised not to spoil Surviving, because that was his response. We were like, hey, we want to go. The first 2 episodes of Survivor will be out, and we're just like,
He's like, I'm worried about you. Maybe this is a point for you to make this decision on behalf of Dave.
Unfortunately, I'm a full-time assistant. I can't give brands budgets
Right.
for travel.
Sure. And
Yeah.
that makes sense, right? Because you've been demoted away from dealing with the budget. So that makes total sense. But yes, so for the listeners, yes, we're trying to get to Chicago. So maybe by then we'll we'll avoid you in the hallways and carry on as usual.
Perfect.
All right.
All right, thanks, Austin.
See you later. Have a safe flight.
Holy shit, that was like
no.
pulling fucking teeth.
Well, here's the thing, and I want to keep this in. I want to keep recording a little.
Yeah, let's
and we
just
have to
keep
kind
going.
of go off the top a little.
You have 10
Thank
minutes,
you.
Jason.
Or you can, if
He's
we're
gotta
good.
go.
Yeah, you can step out.
right,
Yeah,
all
sorry,
right.
we kept him for longer. Well, we didn't expect. Honestly, I didn't expect for that to be so.
That was a long. We're just gonna keep this thing rolling right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was a
keep it going.
long interview.
Will do. Thank you so much.
We'll let you know when you were done. Before we get into this next
yeah.
part of the show where we kind of debrief, I do want to talk to you guys about Stella Blue Coffee. You know, that first sip of a great coffee shop latte, Stella Blue put that feeling right into a can. Stella Blue can lattes are made with 100% Colombian coffee and packed with 190 milligrams of caffeine to fuel your day. Whether you're headed to work, the gym, a road trip, or just need a better afternoon pick-me-up, Stella Blue delivers smooth taste wherever you are. And now it's easier than ever to keep your fridge stockpiled with Stella Blue can lattes that are available in convenient 4-packs. Same incredible flavor, same big caffeine boost, same mission to help rescue pets. wherever with every purchase. Grab a 4-pack of espresso sweet cream or espresso cafe mocha at StellaBlueCoffee.com and find out why Stella Blue Canned Latte people can't stop talking about it. You can also find Stella Blue at Circle K and 7-Elevens around the country. Go to the store locator on StellaBlueCoffee.com to find a store near you.
Oh.
Ugh.
Love Stella Blue.
What do we think about Austin? That's exactly what I thought it was going to be with
So first
Austin.
of all, I just want to say right now, I'm like tired from having that
I am
conversation.
too.
Which doesn't usually happen to me.
I was getting bored. Like,
Yeah.
no offense to
I
Austin.
wouldn't
I was just
say-
like, fucking Christ,
I
man.
wouldn't say bored.
Everything's political.
Yes, that's what it is. And
We
here's-
get it. You love your job.
Yes,
We get it.
yes.
Everyone here loves their job.
And I think that we
Tell us how much
now
money you make.
realize, yeah, for real. I think we now can see and comfortably say that Austin is not a content person. That's
Right.
very clear. And I think it's only just because like I did think, again, I know we made a lot of jokes like me and Austin aren't friends, but we did hang out at least twice.
Right.
I went back in my camera roll and I looked. Two separate occasions we hung out.
Yeah.
And he was a good time. And we were laughing, having a good time, just like fun in conversation in a group. And so that was always my perspective of him, or perception of him, I should say.
He also didn't answer a single question I asked.
Right. And
Every
that's-
question
so
I
that's
asked
the
was a
thing is,
roundabout thing.
I think in this setting, this is not his setting. I think that he probably can be a
Right.
human being person. And like maybe if we were out at a bar and having this conversation, it'd be a totally different conversation. I think that he came on this podcast because Dave said, get him on. And so he said, he like,
Right.
jerked us around on a time over 3 days time, but
Right.
then eventually showed up. Thank you for showing up. But then also, I think ultimately like didn't want to have any of those conversations and probably came into this thinking like, I just need to make sure that like everyone knows I'm doing my job. And that's fine.
No one has ever
But
questioned
no one ever
you
has
doing
thought,
your
that's
job.
never been the question. Like
It's
we all
also
know that you work hard.
him getting
We just
exposed-
want to know more about you.
Yeah, him getting exposed for being a dick is exactly how Kate Marco got exposed by Kirk. It's
Yeah.
people dealt with it. I can't tell you how many people here at Barstool have fucking folders full
Yeah.
of G chats from that piece of shit Kate Marco
Yeah, it's
of
tough.
terrible things he said. And it's like Austin is, a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what
Yeah,
that guy
yeah,
was.
yeah.
But it's like they were just kind of like, okay, fuck you. And credit to Austin, at least he's doubling down on it, right?
Well, it seems now that he's assuming the persona, and that's
Right.
totally fine. That's fine. If that is your online and offline persona, sure. I don't know. It's kind of a bummer. I'm bummed out after that call, after that
Well, it was
conversation.
boring.
It was boring, but I'm also bummed. I just feel like, I feel like we didn't really get information. I think there was a little bit in there and like a little bit of meat and potatoes within
Yeah.
that like sludge, but ultimately I think
Sludge.
I
would describe
think
that
like
interview as
I don't know.
sludge.
It was just a lot of. It was just diplomatic. It was diplomatic
I
and
hate
political, like
diplomatic.
and having to be giving political answers in the way of like I don't want to fuck up by what I'm saying here, and that's totally
Fucking
fine.
yawn, dude.
And it's cool. And I am sad about the reason I started going so hard about the Mook thing right at the beginning is because I didn't actually
I should
see
have dug
that.
in on that. I just know they
Well,
don't want
no,
to bring it up.
I didn't see it yesterday. It popped up yesterday because they were talking about it again
Right.
on Boy Dad, and they brought up those texts. And I didn't know that Austin did that, and so I saw that
That's
late last night, and I
trash.
forgot to send it to you because I was like, wait, what the fuck? And so obviously, as a person who has experienced like people within talking shit and like trying to bring you down, like
Yeah.
I'm sensitive to that. Like when I
Yeah.
see someone like it that's in a
when the
position
call
of
is coming
power
from inside the house.
Exactly. It's like someone in a position of power is like talking shit behind my back to a civilian.
Right.
That's like not. That doesn't sit right with
weird.
me. And so I think that is kind of like a darker side of maybe his personality. And I also don't like how he comes on here being like, my mom fucking hates you. It's like, well, baby girl, this
Oh
is
yeah,
not.
how about
this
you
is-
should have said, how about I fuck your mom up then? How's that sound?
I think I did maybe say that, but no,
Yeah,
I mean,
you
I
did.
understand. It's like my mom is the exact same way. If ever anybody's talking shit about me, she's like literally fuck them forever. Like I'll drive to their house and kill them dead. So
love that.
I think Mrs. Keegan and Mrs. Jenkins are about to throw hands.
Rough and rowdy? Should we get Devlin involved?
Rough and rowdy. Yeah, we should call Devlin.
I don't know. It was just kind of like bored. It's like, dude, give us something. Like, give me
Yeah.
anything. Like, okay, you hate Mook. Like, we get it.
He just,
like,
I think he just didn't want to joke at all. Like he didn't really want to be joking. He didn't want to be tongue in cheek. He
Well,
didn't want to be
he's
funny.
not funny. It's like-
yeah. I just thought maybe we'd get a little bit of a teasing, silly conversation, which,
Yeah.
and he came in serious. And again, it's very clear that he's a very serious guy. So I'll
and
never
unfortunately-
make
yeah,
that
he
mistake
takes his job
again.
very seriously. And unfortunately, for the listeners, I didn't cut a single thing. So it's all could have been cut down to 10 minutes.
No,
Nah,
and we're
suffer
not
through
gonna-
it. Look at
we're
the
not
chapters on YouTube. Click around where you
Listen,
want.
it's important to because we don't want to present something that is like edited in whatever way, like especially when it's someone like Austin, because Dave is a guy who says like, I will do whatever as long as I can film on my side to control, like to have the full edit based on whatever version that you're going to put out that's edited. Like I don't ever want to be accused of like not keeping something in or taking something out or you know, misconstruing something.
The fucking edit. Just make him seem like the biggest dickhead on earth. Like piece together Dave, like piece together like I hate him, he's a bad person with Dave's name. Yeah. Send it to me.
Working for Dave. I hate him. He sucks. Like, yeah, that'd be fun. No, we would never do that. But it is
How much money do you think he makes?
I'm sure a shit ton, as he should.
I'd say like
Pat. He has no life. When he said he had a girlfriend, I was literally shocked. Like that was I kept making jokes. I almost was like, oh, did she go to another school? Like I don't.
Yeah, it's like does the girlfriend
is it really a girlfriend or is it a situationship? Is she hiding under your desk? Like where you know what I mean? Like it's one of those. Wow. One of those things, but I think that he
is who he is.
He just is who he is, and he has his entire life is Barstool, and I think to do a job like the job he's doing, that's what it has to be. So if you know, that's sad.
Look,
I thought maybe we'd make a
smash
friend.
hit, right? Despite the teaser in the YouTube title,
I thought maybe
not every episode is a smash hit.
No. Do you see the people are mad at us for putting Sass in the thumbnail last week and not having him on?
Are they? Good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it again this week.
They're upset. They're like you can't put the baby boy or whatever the fuck they call him. They always call him something different. Can't put him in the thumbnail and have him not on. He's a hard guy to. We could never. It'd be very hard to get Sass on. He's busy.
I know.
Yeah.
It's weird. It does make you appreciate. Like, no offense to Austin, but it makes you appreciate when you have someone on who's like switched on and does content.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That I'm like, oh, this is just a guy.
Yeah.
This is not it's like, oh, this is just a
He's
dude.
just a guy trying to clear his name.
Yeah,
you know?
this is not like a guy who's here to entertain. This is just a guy talking to. Like, I could talk to this guy at like a parking meter. It's like, this is the energy we're getting. Seriously, it's fucking crazy. Do you want to talk about before we get out of here? Do you want to talk about this Nantucket no influencers sign?
Yes, I do. Actually,
I saw you post.
I really do want to talk about this.
What do we got?
So I think that Pat and I deserve a little bit of credit because last week, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I forget. 2 weeks ago, we discussed the fact that there are so many people who, during the summer months, and this happens every year all the time, they migrate to the beach towns, and we were trying to stick up on behalf of the beach towns, saying like, stay in your beach town, you know, stay in the Hamptons, stay in the Shores, stay in Nantucket, stay in the Vineyard. Don't cross pollinate and ruin it with your bullshit. Because as I'm sure everybody knows now at this point in time, that there is a level of people who are obnoxious about going on vacation, and they're only going so they can take a photo of the location that they're in, so they can post it on Instagram or talk about it online and get interactions and probably get paid for it and probably whatever. So the conversation has become a broader discussion about influencers in general, because this woods craft store in Nantucket called Four Winds. There are two Four Winds places called Four Winds, by the way. One is like Woodcrafts and the other one is a gift shop. They are not the same. Don't get them twisted. I tagged the wrong one by accident.
Four Winds Craft Guild in Nantucket.
And apparently, and they, you know, they're a highly respected, a long time running business, like all this stuff. They made a like handcrafted sign that they put up, which I honestly thought it was like for sale.
Right.
They put it up saying no influencers, meaning like don't come in here with, you know, cell phones, selfies, like whatever, making content about the store, and don't buy anything, don't, respect the people around you, blah, blah, blah. That is how I interpreted that sign. And no, we've got another, I would say she's an influencer turned businesswoman, Paige Lorenze, now Paige Paul. She's married. She makes waves all the time with like her controversial behavior, and it's not necessarily controversial in like a typical way. It's kind of like, am I being obnoxious or not? Like that's always sort of the vibe of her, like whenever people are talking about her. She has a brand now called Dairy Boy, and they've opened up a store in Nantucket, and she saw this smaller shop post this thing that they made that says no influencers, and she took it very personally. She was like thinking that they were targeting her and all of her customers that are coming to her store, and she's saying that it's they're being anti-feminist in the way that they are saying no influencers, because she says that a lot of influencers are women, and there are women here, and so you're saying you don't want women to have jobs, you don't want women to like speak out online and whatever.
Is that the biggest stretch I've ever heard in my life?
Pat, I gotta be real with you. Like I so agree with you. Like I I never saw that perspective. I still don't really get that perspective. I've been thinking about it since yesterday because I thought like, damn, is this one of those things where I'm missing the mark? Like I'm not like understanding what's happening here. To label it, it's almost like the opposite, where it's like degrading to women a little bit, to be like, you're hating on women because only women are influencers, and this is a thing that we do. There are plenty of female influencers.
Right.
There are also a fuck ton of male influencers. Hello, we work at Barstool Sports. Like, what do you know? I just think that that is not what people are saying, and
It's a
that's certainly
bizarre
not what that
stretch.
shop was saying.
And
Like,
also-
they're not saying no women in here.
100%.
They're saying don't be an obnoxious asshole in our store where everything costs $10,000
Right.
and you can't afford
You
it.
get a
So
woven
come in,
basket for
right.
$6 fucking grand.
You come in, you take photos and videos, clog up the place, and then leave.
Right. And
It's
also,
like,
I
get outta
got
here.
I got bad news for the people on Nantucket. The influencers are coming. They're
Yeah,
coming.
well, that's-
The only
who knows
benefit,
if they are
the
now.
only thing that's slowing down influencers from coming to Nantucket
Is the ferry?
is the ferry is the lack of housing inventory.
That's
Because
so
every
facts.
fucking house on Nantucket is booked years in advance, whatever. But it's only a matter of time until you're having a wonderful cucumber cocktail at Crew, and you look out and you see Remy fucking Bader and whoever the hell on a Tarte makeup trip in Nantucket Sound. It's coming.
Yeah.
So brace yourselves. It's on its way. But I am very anti-influencers taking that over.
Yes.
No shade to Remy and Tarte.
But I also think that like the term influencer has now become derogatory in certain ways, because it's like, yes, it's synonymous with people who are acting like assholes to like get the shot or get the
Right.
whatever, get the likes. Of course there are people that are genuinely trying to make content and genuinely trying to make a living and trying to do X, Y, and Z, whatever, in like a respectful way. But that needs to be across the board. Influencers get a bad rap because that's not across the board. There are so many people who are assholes about it,
Right.
and who are so soulless when they come. Like we talked about it at length on that episode that we had this conversation. It was like the people, they come through now, like there's bottle service in Montauk. Like that's, if you told people in Montauk 20 years ago that there would be restaurants with bottle service in
Right.
their town, they'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
Like that's it's the
I don't think
loss
Nantucket
of-
will turn to it, though. I don't think it's going to be like a
No, no,
long-term
no. I don't
sustainable
think that
thing.
they
I think
will
it's too
either.
expensive to live there. It's
Of
too expensive to
course.
be there. I think if
People
brands get
go
involved,
to live
In the
casually
moment.
in the moment, and that's why so many of these beach towns are so important, because it's like that's you want a place to escape and just enjoy yourself. You don't have to be dressed up and putting on for a
and people
faceless
do that in Nantucket,
crowd.
but there's no. I felt weird when I was there having my phone out. I like a chicken box.
Yeah.
No one had their phone out, and I was like,
That's
"Oh, this is
amazing.
nice." Everyone was dressed beautifully. Everyone looked great, which
But
is not
that's so
something I
they're
ever
dressing
care
for
about.
fun. They're dressing for themselves. Like
Exactly.
it's not for the gram. It's not for whatever the fuck. Like you know.
But I will say they're coming.
I bet they are.
Brace
You know what
yourself.
I did look? I
Fucking
did look.
Aiden Blake is going to be doing a fucking vacuum
Aiden
commercial
Blake, no.
on the dock of some yacht.
No, Rob
Yeah.
Roush. Rob Roush is going to be there.
Yeah. Also, if you're straight,
Snake
I've said it
hunting.
before. If you're straight and an influencer, stop. Influencing is for women and gay men.
Well, so-
and also, if you influence and you're a straight man, you're not straight. You're gay.
This
Sorry.
too was kind of part of the conversation, and I do sort of see this part of the conversation more, is that why is it that girls who and women who are influencers in whatever space they're in, they're categorized as influencers, versus men, if they're influencers, it's like, oh, he's a chef, oh, he's a tech guy, oh, he's into photography, oh,
Right.
he's whatever. They're also influencers.
Right.
So call the women chefs, call the women whatever. Like not everyone is an influencer. So I think that I appreciate that part of the argument. But Paige Lorenze trying to be like, you don't respect a woman running a business and you don't respect women on the island, I think is too far. I think
Also,
that's
wasn't her entire
unfair
wedding
to say.
just an influencer event?
Yeah, it was. It's
Every
just-
influencer I know
Yeah.
is like her, like.
but if I'm her too, I
do
do
the same thing.
take that as no, I would take that as a slight. Like I would if I saw some other shop in Nantucket is like no influencers 2 weeks after I have my big fat influencer wedding. Yeah, I'm taking it personally. Like that's I will say like yeah, I would, but I would not go as far to be like fuck you, you hate women. Like that is too far. And I am always ready to get on board with
Hating women.
people hate women. Yeah, with hating women. People hate women. We're the underdog. Whatever. Like I'm always ready to have that take. But in this case, I just in good conscience, I can't do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what happens. Anyway, I think that's all that I have. If you have anything else.
I think so too. Anything else? Oh, you know what I really wanted to talk about was Ben Mintz's bitch out. but I don't know if we have time. Let's save it for next week for those. We'll put it, we'll put it somewhere on socials. We have our guy Ben Mintz, who we've talked major shit, or at least I've talked major shit about on this podcast specifically, issued a nearly perfect bitch out on the yak this week, but we will discuss that next week. We'll hold that drama. Maybe we can try to get Mintz on to discuss where was he in that moment where he had such a lucid bitch out ready to go.
Look,
so
you can only back someone into a corner so much before they lash out.
Exactly.
Shout out Mook.
Shout out Mook.
We will see you guys next week. Thank you.
Bye.